Well, the numbers are in, and Brampton was hot, 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 just like last month. Not only did every single category have an over asking average price, we are seeing things start to heat up across the GTA as well. So in this video, I'm going to break down just the sales that are happening across the different housing categories, the average prices for your detached, townhouse, semi, and every other housing category you might be interested in. And I'm going to let you guys know what the housing market looks like in the long term. If you want to book an appointment and have a longer discussion about your specific property, click the first link in the description. It is my Calendly link. I'd be happy to hop on a introductory call with you and figure out what's next for you in the real estate market. If not, we're going to dive into the numbers here in the Brampton real estate market. So today what we're going to do is we are going to, like the previous videos, pull up the sales data, the days on market, the percentage of asking that some of these homes are selling for, and figure out where most of the movement is coming from. So just as a refresher here, if you're looking at the screen to my left, this is the Brampton territory that we're looking at. So we are in Peel, and as we go through each type of housing in Brampton, we're just going to highlight the areas where most activity is actually happening. First off, we are going to start with detached homes. So the detached homes, there was 258 homes that sold that were detached in Brampton as of 31st of March. So over the last 30 days, from March 1st to March 31st is the data we are going to be looking at. Now, when we're looking at the actual numbers, so the transactions were 258 transactions that happened in the detached variety in Brampton last month. The average home was selling for 102% of asking. And we are talking about detached homes here in Brampton. So everything was very active once again. We've seen the last couple months a lot of over asking and a lot of bidding war strategies taking place here. The average detached home was actually selling for $1,072,000 in Brampton. So we're seeing numbers that are actually fairly stable over that $1,050,000 mark, and this is a good sign for the market, but it comes with a lot of caution as well. We need to make sure that if we're going to be getting into bidding wars, we need to understand the ramifications of these. If you're a buyer, of course. If you're a seller, it's great. You're getting top value for your home, and we want to continue to do so. But if you're a buyer, you need to understand the risks. If you get into bidding wars, what would happen if the market maybe doesn't continue to go up at the same trajectory that it is the last couple months here? When we're looking at the actual areas that had the most movement, as you can see here on the chart, Sandringham, Wellington, 20 transactions. Heart Lake, 17 transactions. Fletcher's Meadow, 24 transactions. So if we're pulling up the map here, we can take a look at some of these areas. So Sandringham, Wellington, right in this pocket here, tons of transactions, 24 of them. Heart Lake just butting up against there. And then Fletcher's Meadow, which is on that northwestern corner of Brampton. This is where we're finding a lot of the transactions happening, and this is the same as last month. So you're seeing a huge chunk of transactions between the three of those areas. You're seeing 50 plus transactions alone out of these 258 transactions. So these are the areas, if you're looking for a detached home, there seems to be a good amount of turnover. Now, if we're talking semi-detached in Brampton, we had 97 transactions that happened last month. Brampton is always known for semi-detached because there's a lot that were built that were newer, and there's a lot that are older. So there's a really good balance of new and old semi-detached. The transaction volume was 97 transactions at an average price, selling price of $966, but an average list price of $940. So $26,000 over asking was the average. This turns out to be 103% of asking price. Once again, not only are detached, but semi-detached are coming through at an over asking average. We're seeing same areas, very popular, Sandringham, Wellington, and Fletcher's Meadow. These are both in double digits. Two areas where are going to be a consistent thing here. Aside from our condos, these are areas that we've seen a lot of movement going forward. Now, if we want to talk about something more affordable, let's look at freehold townhouses. There were 78 transactions that happened in that freehold variety. And in that freehold variety, we saw them sell once again for 103% of asking, averaging list price at $872, average sale price at $896. 3 in a row. We've got detached, semi, townhouses, all averaging 103% of asking. And the popular areas here, Sandringham, Wellington, 19 deals, 28 out of Northwest Brampton. These are areas where there's a lot of new build, new development. I will repeat it over and over. These are areas where if you're looking to move to Brampton, this is where you should be looking because you're going to have more options. You're going to have more inventory that seems to be popping up. And that is the case with a lot of new developments. We do see new developments have quicker turnover in the first 5 years after people have moved in. Now, when we're talking Brampton, we know that condos are not the most popular thing because the way the Brampton has been developed, there's just not a huge selection of condos. There's starting to be more and more that are being built on the outer edges, but for the most part, you're talking about that Queen Street downtown corridor where the condos generally are situated along Queen Street in Brampton, and then as you get towards the 410, you have some older condos as well near Bramalea City Center. So there was only 31 transactions last month that were of the condo variety. However, we saw 100% of asking. So everything that we've seen up to date is selling for at asking price or above asking price. The majority of these were coming from Queen Street corridor, 15 of the 31 transactions, as I've mentioned. And the average price to get into a condo was $549,000. The average list price was $548,000. So just a slight increase over the list price to that sale price, but it's the most affordable, right? We're talking in the mid 500 range to get into a condo in Brampton, and then your next step up to get a freehold property was that high 890s to get a freehold townhouse with no fees. Now we just did the condos, but I actually want to do the condo townhouses because these are the most popular of the bunch, right? People don't want to necessarily buy a condo for their first house if they can avoid it, so they might say, let's get a condo townhouse. And in this case, we had 33 transactions happening last month that were of the condo townhouse variety, and 102% of asking. So not only did every other housing type, including now the condo townhouse variety, sell over asking, we saw an average price here of $724 on the sale side and $714 on the list. Now on average, you're paying 10 grand over asking for this type of property in the month of March. So we have 33 transactions. It's a fairly big sample size for the condo townhouses, and the majority of those are split. We're seeing a lot of them out of Northwest Brampton in the central area, but there's a really good variety in the condo townhouses where they're located in Brampton. What does all of this mean? So we've seen condo townhouse, freehold, semi, and detached all have an over asking valuation based on the last 30 days of data. This is something that we saw last month. We didn't see it in every category. This month we see it in every category. I think it's something that we really need to keep our eyes on and understand. If you are selling your home, look at the strategy that's being used. We're seeing homes selling over asking almost all of the time, which means your strategy when it comes to selling your house should be to try to get over asking price. And that generally means you're listing it slightly below market value in order to intrigue or get multiple offers to sell your home quicker for a better price, ultimately, at the end of the day. When you are seeing some homes sitting on the market for a longer period of time, they're usually just using a different strategy. And that strategy might be price it at what you think fair market value is, and buyers might be slower to react to that. Sometimes you have sellers who want more than the home is worth, and if that's the case, you're going to notice those homes do sit on the market longer, and you're not necessarily going to have the same impact on those sales. If you are the seller, you're going to be hoping to get the same results, but if you overprice it, you kind of kill yourself on arrival, or you shoot yourself in the foot, so to speak. So you really should look at the strategy that's happening. What does this mean going forward for the real estate market? I think April 10th, we are going to have an announcement that the Bank of Canada is going to hold rates again, and they're going to stay stable for the time being. And I think we're going to have the similar type of activity happen over the next 30 days, and we will see when I have that April market update coming up for you in a month's time. But my anticipation is as we get towards the summer or towards our first rate decrease, things are going to build up like a pressure cooker here. And once we do see our first rate reduction, I think people are going to just go nuts and it will skyrocket, at least for a temporary amount of time. So if you're looking to sell your home or if you're looking to buy a home, you need to take all of that into consideration. If you're looking to buy, it might be a better time to buy now, knowing that we're in this pressure cooker situation and things might get more ridiculous. Or if you want to wait and get into all those crazy bidding wars that are going to be even more prevalent than they are today, that is your prerogative as well. Let me know what you think the real estate market is going to do in the comment section down below. If you found value from a video like this, from a market update, I'd be happy if you would like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.